Okay, good morning, everyone. I would like to call today's meeting for the State of Nevada Board of Examiners to order for February 8th, 2022 at 10 a.m. Could I ask the clerk to take the roll, please?
Yes, good morning. Governor Sisolak.
Here.
Secretary of State Sagaski.
I'm here.
Attorney General Ford.
Here.
Let the record reflect we do have a quorum.
Okay, I've got you both on the phone, so if you've got any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to just holler out loud, very loud.
Will do.
Okay, closing item number 1, moving on to number 2, public comment. This is the first time set aside for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board on any item on today's agenda, please step forward, identify yourself for the record, and comments will be limited to 3 minutes. We'll start with the folks down there in Las Vegas, in that big conference room by my office in Las Vegas.
No one here, sir.
Is there anybody in the room at all? Is it?
Nope, just IT.
Okay. IT, do you have any public comment you'd like to make for us today?
Not today, sir.
Thank you. Do we have anyone in Carson City for this portion of the public comment? Do we have any electronic or written public comment?
We do not.
We will close item number 2. Item number 3, approval of the January 11th, 2022 meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
Move approval.
We have a motion for approval on approval of the minutes. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 4, authorization for an emergency contract with a current and/or former state employee.
Good morning. Pursuant to subsection 4 of Nevada Revised Statute 333.705, an agency may contract with a former employee without first obtaining a Board of Examiners approval if the term of the contract is for less than 4 months and the head of
Excuse me, it's really hard to hear. Somebody has their phone on.
We'll try again.
Okay, I will start over. Good morning. Pursuant to subsection 4 of NRS 333.705, an agency may contract with a former employee without first obtaining a Board of Examiners approval if the term of the contract is for less than 4 months and the head of the using agency determines that an emergency exists. If the using agency contracts with an individual pursuant to this exception, they must submit a copy of the contract and a description of the emergency to the Board of Examiners, who shall review the contract and description of the emergency and notify the agency whether or not they would have approved the contract had it not been entered under the emergency provision. Under item 4A, the agenda currently reads Department of Administration Purchasing Division. This should read the Governor's Finance Office, Office of Project Management. And under 4B, it should read the Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Child and Family Services. Do you want to take these 2 items together, or would you like them separate? Okay. The first request is from the Governor's Finance Office, Office of Project Management. They're seeking a favorable recommendation from the board on their use of the emergency provisions to contract with a former employee.
Yeah, excuse me, it's really hard to hear with somebody on. They have their phone on, so I apologize, but I can't hear.
Okay. If I could ask both General Ford and Secretary Sagaski, when you're not speaking, mute your phones, and that should be it. I don't know if we have anybody else on the phone. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the first request is from the Governor's Finance Office, Office of Project Management. They are seeking a favorable recommendation from the board on their use of the emergency provision to contract with a former employee. The division contracted with this employee through Knowledge Services for the period of December 6, 2021 through March 31st, 2022 to provide essential assistance in maintaining the current human resources system. The second request is from the Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Child and Family Services. They are seeking a favorable recommendation from the board on their use of the emergency provisions to contract with a former employee. The division contracted through Reliable Healthcare Services for the period of January 10th, 2022 through May 10th, 2022 to provide essential psychiatric nursing services due to increased bed capacity at the Desert Willow Treatment Center. Are there any questions on these items?
Do we have any questions from either Secretary Sagaski or General Ford?
I'm here. Thank you, sir.
I'm here.
Thank you. Do I have a motion
Not
items?
here either. Move approval.
We have a motion to approve 4A and 4B. Is there any discussion? Hearing seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 5, authorization to contract with a current and/or former state employee.
There are 3 requests to contract with former employees pursuant to NRS 333.705 subsection 1. And I would recommend that we take item 3 separately as it relates to a contract under agenda item 9.
So you want to take all 3 of them separately?
We can take the first 2 together and then take the third one with the contract.
Okay, let's do 5A and B then.
Okay. 5A is from the Department of Administration Purchasing Division to contract with a former employee to provide assistance in maintaining the current Advantage human resource systems and keeping it operational as the state transitions to a new system. This individual will be employed on a part-time basis through Knowledge Services through July of 2022. And item 5B is also from the Department of Administration Purchasing Division to contract with a former employee to provide psychiatric nursing services at Desert Willow Treatment Center. This individual will be employed through Reliable Healthcare Services of Southern Nevada, and the duration of the contract is expected to be from May 2022 through January 2023.
Okay, do we have any questions on items number 5A and/or 5B?
She faded away, but I don't have any questions. I just want you to know that it's really hard to hear, for me anyway. I don't know about the AG, but it's very hard. She did fade away. Thank you, Governor. It's Barbara. I don't have any questions, but thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion on items 5A and B?
Move approval.
We have a motion for approval. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor of items 5A and B signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Now we'll do item 5C.
Okay, item 5C is from the Department of Education to contract with a former employee to provide coordination and direction for use of elementary and secondary school emergency relief funds. The duration of this contract is expected to be approximately 2 years and 5 months. This item relates to agenda item 9, contract number 8 between the Department of Education and F. Gonzalez Consulting, LLC. Are there any questions on this item?
Do we have any questions on item number 5C?
None here.
Do I have a motion on 5C?
Move approval.
We have a motion for approval. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6, request for recommendation of approval to Interim Finance Committee for an allocation amount from the contingency account. You want to do these separately? Or
Yes.
together? We'll do them separately. 6A.
Okay, 6A. Agenda item 6 has 2 requests for a positive recommendation to the Interim Finance Committee pursuant to NRS 353.268. The general fund contingency account has an approximate balance of $26.4 million to cover unanticipated costs for the remainder of the 21-23 biennium. If these items are approved, the remaining balance in the account would be approximately $19.1 million. The first request is from the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, Division of Forestry, for an allocation of $5,020,828 to cover costs associated with emergency response expenses within the forestry fire suppression account. Are there any questions on this item?
Do we have any questions on item 6A? Hearing and seeing
None.
none. Do I have a motion on 6A?
Move approval.
We have a motion for approval. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6B.
This request is from the Office of the Secretary of State for an allocation of $2,206,158 to cover the costs associated with the implementation requirements of Assembly Bill 321 of the 2021 legislative session. This includes expenses such as ballot drop boxes, software, and sorting equipment that were not included in funds provided through Assembly Bill 321. Are there any questions on this item?
Do you have any questions on 6B? Do
None here.
I have a motion on 6B?
I move approval.
We have a motion for approval. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7, collective bargaining.
Item number 7 is an addendum to an existing collective bargaining agreement. Pursuant to NRS 288.555, subsection 1, the Department of Administration, Division of Human Resource Management, acting on behalf of the Executive Department of the State of Nevada, requests approval of this addendum to the existing collective bargaining agreement with the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Local 441, or AFSCME. This addendum adds shift bidding procedures for the Department of Health and Human Services for employees in these bargaining units. And it also updates language to clarify that the Department of Transportation and Department of Veteran Services do not have shift bidding procedures for employees in these bargaining units. Are there any questions on this item?
Do we have any questions on item number 7?
None here.
Do I have a motion on item number 7?
Move approval.
We have a motion for approval. Is there any discussion on that motion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I oppose. This is Barbara.
The record reflect Secretary Sagaski is negative. Motion passes. Item number 8, approval of proposed leases.
There are 2 leases under agenda item 8 today. Are there any questions on these items?
Do we have questions on the 2 leases under item number 8? Seeing none, do I have a motion
No
on
questions
item
here.
number 8? Was that a motion?
I move approval.
We have a motion for approval. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 9.
There are 25 contracts in agenda item 9 today for approval by the board. I would note that contract number 2 between the Controller's Office and GCR Incorporated doing business as Civics has been withdrawn by the agency. So this agenda item would be to approve contracts 1 and 3 through 25. Are there any questions on these items?
I have a disclosure on agenda item 9, contract 22 between the Department of Business and Industry and Opportunity Village. May I make that now?
Please. You mean number 23?
I thought it was 22. Is it 23?
I'm showing 23.
I think it's 22.
Okay.
It is contract 22.
Okay, thank you. I do not believe the independence of judgment of a reasonable person in my situation would be materially affected by the relationship with Opportunity Village as a board member. Based on the nature of my relationship with Opportunity Village, I'm not going to recuse myself from voting on contract number 22 under agenda item 9. I now ask the Deputy Attorney General if that disclosure is satisfactory under NRS Chapter 281A.
Yes, Secretary, and Rosalie Bordelove here for the record.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Secretary. And I apologize. I'm showing it as 22. So, okay. Do we have a motion on the floor for items 1 and 3 through 25?
So
Move
moved.
approval.
We have a motion for approval. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 10, approval of proposed master service agreements.
There are 20 master service agreements under agenda item 10 for approval by the board today. Are there any questions on any of these items?
Do we have any questions on items, the approval items 1 through 20? Do I have a motion?
None here. Yeah, move approval.
We have a motion for approval. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 11, information item, Clerk of the Board contracts.
As you noted, this is an informational item, and agenda item 11 has 30 contracts over $10,000 and under the $100,000 threshold that were approved by the Clerk of the Board between December 23rd, 2021 and January 13th, 2022. Are there any questions on any of these items?
No questions. And again, Susan, I want to compliment you and your staff for the briefing that I get on this. It answers all my questions before we get to this meeting. So I appreciate your diligence in having those meetings for all of us.
And Governor, this is Barbara Sagaski, and I want to say ditto. Thank you.
You always are doing that, and so is General Ford. So we appreciate it. Thank you. They do a great job. That's an information item. Moving on to item number 12, an information items report on complete streets.
Item 12 is an information report from the Department of Motor Vehicles on the voluntary contributions collected by counties pursuant to NRS 482.480, also known as the Complete Streets Program. This report is for the period of October 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021. During the second quarter of fiscal year 2022, the department collected $97,268 compared to $95,656 in the same period last year and $106,871 collected last quarter. Of the amount collected, approximately 78.5% was from Clark County, with 15% coming from Washoe County and just over 3% each from Carson City and Douglas County. Approximately 13% of those registering a vehicle in these counties during the quarter contributed to the Complete Streets program during this period. Are there any questions on this item?
Do we have any questions on Complete Streets?
None here.
Okay, hearing and seeing none, we'll close that item. Move on to item number 13, which is public comment for the second time. This is a second session of public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board on any item of which we have jurisdiction, please come forward, identify yourself for the record, and comments will be limited to 3 minutes. We'll start in Las Vegas, where it does not look like the room has filled up at all. There's no one there. Is there anybody sitting on the side?
No, sir.
No comments. Okay, do we have any public comment in Carson City? Do we have any written public comment? Or telecommunications? No?
No. Do we have anybody on the phone? No? Okay.
Everybody's dropping off? Okay, hearing and seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day. And happy Valentine's Day to everybody.